think it's important that I show my face because migrants have faces. We have names. We're not numbers, and we're not just names on a folder that describes our situations, our personal information. My name is June Saturay, and I come from the Philippines. And I came to the Netherlands 18 years ago, 2003. And I am so appalled that the situation in asylum centers have not changed, and in fact it has worsened. I stayed in asylum centers in the south of the Netherlands for nearly 2 years, for almost 2 years, and I experienced how it is so much like prison. Living in an asylum center is not a better position for people who are fleeing from wars of aggression, people who are fleeing from wars of occupation, people who are fleeing from persecution from fascist regimes, people who are fleeing because of religious and gender persecution, people who have no other choice, but to leave their families, to leave their friends, leave their jobs, leave their homes, and come to a foreign country where they are not welcome, where they have no future. No, it's mostly uncertainty when I came here. I couldn't work, I did not speak the language, could not go to school to prepare myself to go to work again. I could not rent my own house, and I had to live in an asylum center. And it was like a community of people who are traumatized, people who are deeply disturbed because of the backgrounds that they have from the situations that they have fled. And it's 18 years later, and people are still coming, and we have, anywhere in Europe, it has not improved. In fact, the support for people who are fleeing from wars are lesser. They need help in terms of healthcare. They need help in terms of getting some form of livelihood so that they could sustain themselves here. We in Migrante, I work with an organization called Migrante Utrecht, Migrante Amsterdam, and Migrante Netherlands. We believe that the migration situation here is not because people want to go here. People have left their countries, people have left their lives from the countries that they are coming here to come because they have no choice. They either spend their time in prison in their home countries, or they get murdered, they get tortured, and the only choice is to come here. Many of us expected a better welcoming community, a better welcoming situation. We thought that what we thought Europe was more tolerant. We always saw in the movies people fleeing from wars and struggling to go to Europe. We always thought that it was because they were welcome and they would be helped. But it was not true. I used to be a dentist in the Philippines. I was a surgeon. I had my house. I had a comfortable middle-class life. And I came here and I had to start from zero. So I worked in front of the central station giving out newspapers. I've done the post. I've done busking, hoping to get some money for food. But I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones because my case is very well documented. So in 3 years, I was able to get my own status and my family across. But the greater majority of asylum seekers are not as documented. And it is up to them to prove that they are indeed persecuted. And if you are unable to prove that you are persecuted, then you will be sent out of the procedure and eventually get deported if you are unlucky. So until the wars of aggression stop, until the wars of occupation are stopped and the occupying forces are told to leave the lands that they occupy, until the fascist regimes that have friendly relations with Europe and the European states, until poverty is eliminated and across the whole world the differences between the rich and the poor are narrowed down, equalized even, then migration will continue. So my call for everybody is to let's work together and try to solve the root causes of migration. But for the meantime, we struggle for the rights of migrants and refugees. Our call in Migrante is to grant citizenship rights, not really citizenship even, but the rights that citizens receive, the right to health care, the right to shelter, the right to be with your family, and that, I think, all men should have access to. So, in behalf of Migrante Netherlands and all its city chapters, we condemn the worsening situation for asylum seekers. We condemn the growing anti-migrant sentiment that is spreading across Europe. Thank you very much.
Let's call a bit. So, I will say END, and you say bloed aan je handen, okay? END!
Bloed aan je handen!
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 Schaam je! END!
Bloed aan je handen!
END! Schaam je! END!
Schaam je!
END!
Schaam je!
END!
Schaam je!
Koa!
Schaam je!
Koa!
Schaam je!
END!
Schaam je!
Koa!
Schaam je!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Geen grenzen, geen nazi's!
Stop deportaties!
Geen grenzen, geen nazi's!
Stop deportaties!
Geen grenzen, geen nazi's!
Stop deportations!
Geen grenzen, geen nazi's!
Stop deportaties!
No borders, no nations.
Stop deportations!
No borders, no nations!
Stop deportations!
No borders, no nations!
Stop deportations!
The mic is open.